now we are almost ready for round 3 of phase 1 here, and I think the competition is just getting higher and higher each turn, and I am so excited to be seeing our next trainers.
Yes, without giving anything away, because we'll get into it in just a minute, the level of competition that is in this tournament is crazy. I mean, it's almost like you're playing day 2 of a regional, top cut of a regional at this point. And what's so exciting to me, we have another 7 rounds of this today. We have another 7 rounds of Swiss tomorrow, and then all of Top Cut. So Pokemon fans are going to be eating very well this weekend. It's going to be so exciting. And we are ready to actually dive into those team sheets and see our players for round number 3. Ooh, looks like we have the team sheets from last round up. We'll get the round 3 team sheets up in just a moment. But there... Ooh.
Yeah.
Still those round 2 team sheets.
These Pokemon enjoying the limelight.
Yes,
they had an amazing time on stream just then, and they're not quite ready to leave the screen. But stay with us, trainers, because I can promise you our next round trainers are going to be so incredible. As you mentioned earlier, these are a lot of these world's caliber players. In fact, I would say quite a few players, a good portion of them, are probably just going to have a feel of the metagame and keep their skills sharpened, get going into Worlds, which is just 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's just 2 weeks away. I mean, really, I can tell you as a competitor, there's no better way to prepare for Worlds than a tournament like this. You can do all the playtesting you want with your friends on the ladder, but this atmosphere really does simulate what it feels like to sit down and play at the World Championship. The structure of it, the pressure of it, the caliber of your opponents, it really does feel like these players are sharpening their skills as they prepare for the biggest tournament of the year, and everyone is fighting to be the first champion of Pokemon Champions. Yeah, we were talking a little bit off air,
the champion,
but certainly they're gonna do some exciting stuff for the person that wins Worlds, right?
Yeah, I want to see a world champion exclusive pose, a victory pose and a Pokeball throwing pose. I think that'll be really cool. And we've seen in the Scarlet and Violet era at the World's Finals, the battle screen background is very hype. You get that stadium backdrop, and I'm pretty sure champions will blow even that out of the water, and we're going to see some incredible matches here at Worlds. But just goes to show 1,400 players at this level, and this is tournament. It's quite different to playing on the ladder, which is closed team sheet best of 1. Here this is the closest you can get essentially to an actual regionals, where it's best of 3 open team sheet and you get all of these Swiss rounds.
Yes, absolutely. It's invaluable practice, and we are going to see so many different variations of teams, and then it's up to players to spend the next not full 2 weeks, because obviously Worlds is going to start on a Friday, but enough of that. Let's get into this round. And so look at these players that we have. We have Justin Tang versus Behzad Muntazir. This could be top cut of a regional. This really
exactly.
could be. And it's round 3.
Do you think they faced each other before? I feel like they must have, right? These are 2 titans of the game. Incredibly accomplished players. You always see them on stream, sitting at the top tables, and Justin Tang rocking that Sinistcha, Mega Delphox, and Mega Blastoise team with the Incineroar, Kingambit, and Sneasler up against Behzad with his own very unique Mega Staraptor team, Torkoal Venusaur instead of Charizard Venusaur, and paired up with the Farigiraf, Sneasler, and Incineroar.
Yeah, 2 very interesting teams here. We've seen variations of these teams do well, but I don't know if we've seen these exact 6 with these exact movesets. Justin Tang's team feels familiar, right? It is 3 setup options. We have Delphox with Nasty Plot, we have Blastoise with Shell Smash, and Kingambit with Sword Stance. And then why not just pair it with the 2 best support Pokemon in the game, right? You've got Incineroar for the Fake Out and for the Intimidate cycling. You've got Sinistcha, which is able to heal Pokemon. You can redirect hits. You can set up Trick Room if needed. It's just such a flexible team. And you've also got Quick Guard on the Sneasler, which, this is open team sheet. You're not going to catch anybody out with that, but it just gives you a little bit of extra insurance against something like the Incineroar Fake Out from Behzad's side. But over on Behzad's side, some really interesting tech. I mean, you've got 3-attack Venusaur with Life Orb, so it's not rocking Focus Sash. It doesn't have Sleep Powder. And then you've got Ancient Power on the Torkoal, which does mean that if you get Trick Room up, it's another way to hit Delphox, which is interesting to keep our eye on as this set progresses.
Yeah, Torkoal is most well known for getting those really powerful eruptions under the sun, but sometimes up against, say, an opposing fire type, it really struggles, and that's where the Ancient Power comes in. It's not a very strong move in itself, but it comes with that 10% chance to boost all of its stats, which can be quite helpful in the Torkoal, and of course, also Rock Slide on the Sneasler. Rock Slide just one of the best moves in the game. We saw in that previous round how effective it was at getting all of those flinches and just preventing your opponent from even getting a move off.
Yes, absolutely. And Sneasler, not typically a Pokemon that loves to face up against Delphox, but you've got Rock Slide, you've got it's actually Poison Touch with Focus Sash. So important to note that if its Focus Sash does get procced, it's not getting that double speed boost. But Rock Slide's going to deal more damage to it than a Dire Claw would. And it's just another thing to keep our eye on as this set progresses. But I'm really excited to actually see what these players are able to pull out in this game, because somebody like Justin Tang, he's so good, and you give him this many tools to pivot and set up his Pokemon and just get to the board state that he wants, he's going to be able to use that to his advantage. But on the flip side, Behzad is not a slouch, right? This is a player that he's seen this team, he's seen similar teams. He's going to have a game plan. It's just, it comes down to what, lines he's opting to take here.
Yeah, this is going to be such an amazing match. As you called out earlier, Justin Tang, an incredibly adaptable player, and he's got quite a few setup options, not to mention the Delphox and the Blastoise, the dual Mega. I feel like they fill very different roles on the team and allows Justin to effectively adapt to which Pokemon he brings into the game to kind of suit what his opponents bring. Whereas Behzad's got the solo Mega in that Mega Staraptor, but he's also got a bunch of very flexible options to support that Life Orb Mega Venusaur, Modest Nature instead of Timid. So, just wanting to make sure that it goes first. It doesn't really need the speed because it's got the quicker option, but first we're going to see Behzad leading with the Sneasler and Incineroar up against the Incineroar and Delphox. So a lot of fire types on the field right now.
Yeah, a lot of fire types on the field. Important to note that I believe Justin's Incineroar got the Intimidate off first, which means that in a Fake Out mirror match, you are able to get that Fake Out off first. Because it is Focus Sash Sneasler, you are going to have to eat that Intimidate, and it's going to have to sit on you. So even if you're clicking Rock Slide, it's not going to be doing as much damage as you might hope for. So this could be a prime opportunity for Delphox to set up with a Nasty Plot, and Justin can maybe pivot around from there. Mega Evolve on the Delphox, we're probably going to see Nasty Plot.
Yeah, that Delphox now wanting to make itself even faster than it is already, and now we're going to see whose Fake Out goes off first. Yes, it is going to be Justin's Incineroar onto the Sneasler instead, and there we go. There's the Nasty Plot that you called out. Delphox is boosting its special attack to even more astronomical levels as the opposing Incineroar just goes for a super effective Darkest Area and deals a massive amount of damage. But thanks to the Intimidate, the Delphox is able to survive.
Interesting decision there from Justin. You would think that a Rock Slide from Sneasler would do less damage, but potentially prioritizing his health on Incineroar. Didn't want to eat a close combat maybe there on that slot. But now, Delphox, even though Sneasler's intimidated, its adamant nature, it might still be in range of a Rock Slide because Delphox is not the tankiest Pokemon whatsoever. But the thing with this team is it's a revolving door of support Pokemon. Sinistcha's likely sitting in the back, so something like maybe a Protect. Just straight up for the Heat Wave hits the knockout.
Yeah, the Sneasler now is going to be knocked out from that +1 boosted Heat Wave, but Incineroar tanks it very, very nicely and allows Justin's Incineroar to get that parting shot onto Behzad's Incineroar, so that's now a -2 attack, and I think we can see the Sinistcha switching in. Yup, that is going to be swapping in, giving that Delphox a little bit more health, and I think it should probably be able to survive this Darkest Area, but the Incineroar actually goes for the parting shot as well. So Delphox managing to escape this turn, very nice and healthy.
Yeah, fantastic turn from Justin. He could not have asked for a better turn there. Gets the Heat Wave off onto Sneasler, which KOs it because you broke the Focus Sash with Fake Out, which probably goes to show why you faked out Sneasler rather than the Incineroar. And you get a little bit of healing up on your Delphox. Now, there is a world in which you could go for Fake Out Trick Room here, but Sinistcha is not threatened too much. There's Flare Blitz as an option here, but you're going to have to fake out that Delphox, surely, because it is, scary with those Heat Waves. It's threatening so much damage.
Yeah, although, I must say though, Delphox at the moment, Justin maybe, I think he wants to bring in that Incineroar in the back so that the Sinistcha can come back in again to try and heal up the Delphox. And there's also the option that if Behzad sets up the Trick Room, which would give the Incineroar a speed advantage, and then the Sinistcha can actually reverse it. It looks like actually Delphox just keeping itself safe from any attacks this turn, but the Matcha Gotcha off of Sinistcha dodges the Incineroar, but it does manage to hit the Farigiraf for a little bit of chip damage and gets a cheeky little burn. So, no, not the worst turn, but I think we can see probably maybe a Trick Room coming off with a parting shot. So, Behzad actually maybe reading the Protect there from the Incineroar, and are we going to see a Torkoal? Yes, and a Trick Room come out.
All of a sudden, not bad positioning from Behzad. I mean, this is as good as you could ask for. Delphox goes for the Protect there, so you're not eating up a lot of damage on your Farigiraf or your Incineroar. Important to note, it's Akaberry Sinistcha. I don't know how much that's going to help you with Helping Hand Eruption being an option here, but it could potentially survive. If you could reverse that Trick Room, it would be huge. This is going to come down to whether Delphox lives Helping Hand Eruption. You have Ancient Power, but it's really risky to go for with Redirection available. I wonder what Behzad is going to go for and how Justin's going to react.
Yeah, because Delphox has Nasty Claw and not Calm Mind. It didn't actually get a boost to its special defense. So even though it resists those Fire-type attacks, some boosted full-powered Eruption with a Helping Hand. Oh, it's looking a little bit dicey for this Delphox there, and also for the Sinistcha, even with the Okaberry. It looks like Justin is not confident on that Delphox surviving, is going to swap in the Incineroar instead to try and take this incoming Helping Hand boosted Eruption. This Torkoal is ready to erupt, and here we go. How much damage is it going to do? Sinistcha, of course, first just keep itself nice and safe with a Protector. So here is a full-powered Eruption onto this Incineroar. How well can the Incineroar take this attack? And the answer is quite well, but still a fairly significant amount. But thanks to the Citrus Berry, the Incineroar can survive another turn and maybe potentially try and, reduce the health of this Torkoal or get a parting shot off.
Yeah, important survival there. For the Incineroar. What I mean by that is the Citrus Berry allows it to survive. Sinistcha switching out. He's not confident that he's going to live the Eruption with the Helping Hand. Here's Sneasler coming in. It is carrying the Focus Sash, which means that it is going to be able to survive this turn. So Justin he's maneuvering his way through this Trick Room. It's not pretty. It's not amazing. That's a critical hit. That's huge. That's huge.
That's because I would say he was probably banking on the Incineroar to survive, to either chip down the Torkoal's health so that the Eruption no longer has so much power, or get a parting shot off. But now, unfortunately, because of that critical hit on the Incineroar, Justin is forced to drag out his Delphox, and there's still 2 turns of Trick Room left, and the Torkoal is at full health, and the Farigiraf can just keep on helping handing its own teammate.
Yeah, that's especially rough, because what Justin was hoping for there is you parting shot the Incineroar out, and then you protect the Delphox or whatever switches in, and you switch Sneasler back out into Incineroar. Sneasler's not carrying Protect. That slot is going to go down to Helping Hand Eruption. Delphox has to Protect because it's going to go down. There's still 2 turns of Trick Room left, like you mentioned. There's 2 turns, which means you're going to have to get some double Protects here, and even
double Protect.
Yeah. It's not looking too easy for Justin here in this endgame thanks to that critical hit.
Yeah, it's very rough there. Now Farigiraf helping out its teammate once again allows the Torkoal to get this 3rd Eruption off at full power easily enough. Delphox survives on 1 HP. What does the Delphox go for now? It's going to be a Sun boosted Heat Wave onto this Farigiraf. And little late at this stage, but you know what? The Sinister can come in and give back Delphox some help.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it from Justin's perspective, you have to slowly inch your way towards victory in this game, and that's certainly step one in this puzzle. Here's the tricky thing, though. There is no Heat Wave on Torkoal. I don't know if Eruption from this range would pick up without Helping Hand. What I was going to say is you could threaten to switch into Incineroar on this last turn of Trick Room, and you could try and play the game from there. Still a potential option for Behzad, but with that survival on Delphox, that's absolutely what you needed to at least keep this game afloat. Double Protect, stall out Trick Room, maybe play the game from there. It's going to be close, but here's that Incineroar switch. Did Justin protect?
Ooh, that Delphox now hanging on with that 1 HP, and now the
Incineroar
is going to come in. Sinister now goes for the Rage Powder to try and maybe draw away an super effective Ancient Power. Torkoal does go for the Weather Ball, Stun Booster Weather Ball, but the Occa Berry is going to reduce the damage done. How much damage does the Sinister take? It is able to survive on 21% and allows the Delphox now to get a nasty plot off. Oh, a wonderful turn from Justin there. His back is really against the wall, but because there was no Protect, he can just protect this turn, and there's no Trick Room Setter on the field, so wow, what a comeback.
Yeah, this is a masterclass of Pokemon here. It's still not over. It's still not over. Justin, he has managed, though, to find himself a way back into this game. The only issue is Sun is gone. And I don't think Heat Wave from Delphox is going to do enough to the likes of Incineroar to pick it up. And is there a way in which, because Delphox isn't doing enough damage, can you manage to actually get your way back into this? But surely this is a Double Protect to start things off. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's the Double Protect. There's no need to risk anything because the Incineroar can't do... Unless the Incineroar... I was going to say parting shots the own Torkoal to get the Farigiraf back in, but no. It's just a nice, safe turn from both players there, which means, I mean, next turn, Sinister, I could see trying to draw away with the Rage Powder. And does the Torkoal survive a +2 Heat Wave at this range?
No Sun is up. It's going to be very, very close, but even if Torkoal survives, Weather Ball can't hit Sinistra. Eruption would do no damage because you'd be so low. It's going to be really close, but if both your Pokemon survive and Incineroar can knock out Sinistra, Ancient Power into the Delphox, that is his way back into this game. Let's see.
Here we go. Rage Powder drawing away. Heat Wave does manage to connect on both Pokemon. Doesn't get the knockout on either Pokemon, but does draw away the attack from the Incineroar. Darkest Lariat coming off onto this Sinistra, knocks it out, and leaves the Torkoal flight free to go for an Ancient Power. And I don't see how the Delphox can survive this. And yep, Delphox knocked out. And Behzad is going to take game 1.
What a game. What a game, honestly. That looked like it was Justin's from the first couple of turns. Behzad gets the Trick Room up. Torkoal just so strong under that Trick Room. Just a nightmare to deal with. But Justin clawing his way back. The 1% survival means that he's able to get up the Nasty Plot. And if there was just a couple more turns of Sun, Heat Wave might have done enough damage for that to have been a game. So that was very, very close. And you could just see how skilled these players are. They're going toe-to-toe in this game. They're going, absolutely to the brink. They're equally matched, and they're both playing very well.
Yeah, it was really impressive how after Justin lost his Incineroar, I think a lot of players probably would have given up there because it looked so dire, and Justin was able to navigate around, and ultimately, although Behzad won, I think he was able to claw back as close as he could, and had he maybe gotten, say, a critical hit on the Torkoal, then it could have also been a very different game, because then the Incineroar would have been in range of another Heat Wave from the Delphox. So it was actually really down to the wire in that those final turns.
Yeah, fantastic point. And like you mentioned, had Incineroar not been critical hit on Justin's side, that's a different game because Incineroar can stall out another turn of Trick Room. So we'll see what these players opt to go with here. I think Justin was pretty happy with the Delphox setup mode, but Behzad sticking with the same leads, and it looks like we just have a run back of game 1 leads.
Yeah, I think both players may be recognizing that the game plan was fairly solid, so there's really not much need to switch up, especially for Justin there. The odds of a critical hit on the one turn that mattered is quite low, so having it happen maybe 2 games in a row is quite unlikely, and Justin recognizing Delphox was really helpful, and also in that turn he now knows that Delphox can potentially survive a Helping Hand Eruption at roughly 56% health.
Yeah, all good information that a player like Justin and Behzad, both of them, will take into account as we go to future games here. Can he read the fake out with Farigiraf? That is a very interesting switch in on turn 1. It feels like you're making a pretty hard read here if you're Behzad that the fake out is coming out, and he does catch the fake out.
Yes,
great play.
Yeah, but the Delphox, so Justin sticking to the game plan of game 1. Delphox now once again going for the nasty plot, but this Incineroar on Behzad's turn. This time, instead of going for a super effective attack, he's going to go for the parting shot, and that drops the Delphox now to +1 special attack instead of the +2, and the Sneasler is able to come back in once again.
Yeah, interesting here. I mean, we know for sure that Sinisha should be in the back for Justin, so you would think close combat into Incineroar is safe, but here comes that Sinisha switch-in. So is it something like a Rock Slide? Are you predicting this switch-in, and you're just trying to get some value here? Delphox goes for the Heat Wave. Sneasler, we know it's Focus Sash here. Farigiraf eats that pretty well, though.
I think it's actually quite nice for Justin that the Farigiraf did not get to eat its Citrus Berry, and now that Rock Slide, oh, that does so much damage to the Delphox. And now, what does the Farigiraf go for? It does go for the Trick Room. So, you know, Justin could easily just reverse the Trick Room.
Yeah, the downside... Yeah, you're right. You can just reverse the Trick Room. Sinisha can't feint here. Alternatively, you could go for something like Matcha Gotcha. Finish off the Sneasler, do some damage to Farigiraf. Your Delphox should be pretty safe. And then a Heat Wave, surely single target with Nasty Plot, would be able to pick up that Farigiraf there. So we'll see what Justin opts for. Obviously, if you go for the Matcha Gotcha Heat Wave, you are slightly reliant on RNG, your moves hitting. There is always the chance that one of your moves could miss and your game plan could fall apart. If you miss the Sneasler and Rock Slide comes out, well, then all of a sudden you're in a terrible spot. Sinisha switches, so no attacks from Sinisha here. In comes Incineroar, and the Intimidate would mean that you live a Rock Slide, so we'll see how this turn plays out.
Yeah, quite a nice... Oh, it looks like the Sneasler also just not wanting to be knocked out this turn. And in comes the Incineroar as well on Behzad's side, which allows actually Farigiraf going for the Protect, maybe trying to fish out a reversal of the Trick Room, I'm not too sure. Also a Protect from the Delphox. So a little bit of a passive turn there, but more importantly, because Delphox failed the Protect, it can still protect this turn.
That is a fantastic point. It absolutely can. Behzad's Incineroar is slower than Justin's. So in a world where both Incineroars go for a parting shot, Behzad would go out into Sneasler, Torkoal, whatever is in the back. Justin would then be able to react with his own, but he also is threatening Fake Out on Behzad's side. So you could do something like Fake Out, bring in Torkoal. It seems like a pretty safe way to get that Torkoal in. Delphox switching out. We'll see what Justin opts for with his own. Blastoise makes an appearance.
Double! Justin brought both his Megas into this game, but Blastoise is able to tank that Sun Booster Flare Blitz so well, and a fantastic parting shot onto this incoming Torkoal. That Eruption was dealing so much damage last turn, and now Torkoal at -1 special attack just really isn't going to be able to dish out as much damage as before, and thanks to the Sinister switching in, Blastoise is able to come into the battle fairly healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 2 turns of Trick Room left. We've slowly been whittling away at these turns. So something like... You might even be able to Shell Smash here if you're Blastoise. Shell Smash, switch into Incineroar seems relatively safe. You're going to take some damage, but you're not going to take that much. Torkoal's not a huge threat. Incineroar's now been intimidated. There's that Eruption. This should not do too much damage. Oh, more than I thought.
That's much better, though, compared to the previous
Another
game.
critical hit!
Poor Incineroar cannot catch a break from the Torkoal, but this time it's able to survive very nicely. Dark Lariat Also, just not doing too much to the Blastoise. Are we going to see Stealth Smash? No, it's just going to be a Water Spout. But at this range, I think it's just going to be a slight tickle on both of these opposing Pokemon. Maybe just trying to... Oh, with a...
That was a critical hit.
That's a very sad critical hit.
That is a very sad critical hit indeed.
Yeah. I think what maybe Justin's just trying to do now is trying to burn off the turns of Trick Room so that when the Delphox comes back in, it's able to start sweeping. Because Justin, I would say he's in a much more comfortable position now than before, but Blastoise keeping itself nice and safe on this final turn as the Torkoal goes for another Eruption. Is it going to be another critical hit onto this Incineroar? No, it is not this time. Finally, Incineroar dodges the critical hit. And, well, the opposing Incineroar is going to get a parting shot off. But of course, if Justin also parting shot him, that's not really going to be quite consequential. So, Behzad now taking a bit of time to try and decide what Pokemon he's going to send in.
Yeah, we've got ourselves in an interesting situation. Trick Room is going to end after this turn. The thing is, though, Blastoise is not really in any position to do much of anything. You are not able to Mega Evolve, because Delphox is already Megaed. Water Spout's not going to do a lot, because you're low health. You do have Dark Pulse, and Dark Pulse is going to do, you know, non-zero damage to Farigiraf, because you're not able to Mega, it's not going to do as much as you might expect. You do now have Delphox in the Sun, but I'm struggling to find a way that Justin can knock out Behzad's Incineroar. I mean, Blastoise is not healthy enough to go for a Water Spout, so it switches out. You're able to get a little bit of healing onto your Delphox. Heat Wave here in the Sun might be able to pick up a knockout onto Farigiraf, but it's looking really tough for the Delphox to deal enough damage to get through this game.
Yeah, looks like the Torkoal and -1 special attack is just going to get out of there, and Farigiraf also going for the Protect, trying to maybe burn out its own turns of sun, but the Delphox does not fall for it this time. Goes for the nasty plot, which means, oh, this Delphox is looking quite dicey there, and I wonder if the Delphox is going to read, maybe try and see if the Fake Out is going to come out on Behzad's side, or if the Incineroar is just going to go for a parting shot.
Seems like both these players have been playing some Fake Out mind games this set, right? Switches into Farigiraf, parting shots instead of Fake Out. There is the Fake Out onto Delphox, keeping the Delphox honest there, and is this just Trick Room? No, it's Psychic. Great switch in there, catching it with the Incineroar. Sunlight's over with, though. So that is a decent damage boost that Delphox no longer has. Obviously, you're unable to click Psychic into the Incineroar, and Farigiraf would resist it. So you're just relying on those Heat Waves out of Sun with the Delphox. And it does feel like maybe Delphox is in range of Darkest Lariat, especially with the Helping Hand. Let's see.
Yeah, look at this Helping Hand going on to this Incineroar, but first now, a +2 Heat Wave is not going to be enough to get the knockout on the Farigiraf, which hangs on with 1 HP and allows it to eat its Citrus Berry. First, the Incineroar on Justin's side is going to get another attack drop onto the opposing Incineroar with that parting shot, and probably bring in the Sinistra to get that Delphox's health back up to, you know, maybe at what range was that? 70%. So it's going to be back at full. I think it should be able to survive this.
I think it'll just about hang on.
Yeah. Yes. Survives it.
This is why Justin's team is so frustrating to play against, because you have 2 layers of damage mitigation. You have the parting shot, which lowers the damage, and then you have the hospitality, which also heals you. Had one of those aspects not been there, it would have been a knockout onto Delphox. It needed both the damage reduction and the healing, and now all of a sudden you've got yourself in a spot where, if you're Justin, you can redirect with Rage Powder, and you're not really that worried, and you're able to just start launching these Heat Waves with your Delphox, and Justin has managed to stall out the Trick Room, set up the Delphox, and now he can start launching these attacks. 1% survival again!
What is this training on Behzad's team? Everything is surviving on 1 health. And that does mean the Incineroar gets to parting shot out, but I think that Sinistra is very, very happy to have to take the parting shot there. And
we've got ourselves in an interesting spot.
Yeah.
You
could Fake Out
in.
Trick Room.
Yes! Fake Out into Delphox and Trick Room.
But then could the Sinistra Trick Room?
Could Sinistra Trick Room?
Cancel.
That's a risky play to go for, though. You know, It's a risky play to go for. That has to be Behzad's only play, though, right? You can't go into Torkoal. That would certainly do nothing. So fake out into Delphox and Trick Room. If Justin reads this, you could Trick Room with your own Sinistcha, but could Behzad start thinking the next level and you don't Trick Room with your Farigiraf and maybe you go for a Dark-type move instead? I don't know. Oh, Zoe, we're in such a tough spot.
Or you could just matcha gotcha, right? With Sinistcha at the range, well, the Incineroar will get knocked out. The Farigiraf probably will survive. Then you've got a very weakened Torkoal in the sun up against all 4 of Justin's Pokemon. So, there is the fake out. So, Behzad played it nice instead. Delphox hanging on that 2 HP and the Psychic. So, there's not even any Trick Room.
Behzad's reading the Sinistcha Trick Room. Let's see what Justin goes for here. Is it Matcha Gotcha? It is Trick Room. Okay, okay. Oh, we've got ourselves in quite the situation here.
Yeah, that was quite a big turn there. And now, of course, Justin's Incineroar is going to be slower than Behzad's Incineroar under Trick Room, because outside of it, it is faster, but it's still fairly healthy. And Sinistcha now, I can see it just going for the Matcha Gotcha and the Incineroar just starting to attack, because I still think Justin's in a comfortable position.
I think he's in a comfortable position as well, because you have to keep in mind it's Akaberry on the Sinistcha, and with the Intimidate, even a Helping Hand Dark-type move from the Incineroar should not knock out Sinistcha. Now, something like a critical hit, and now we're talking, because you got to remember the Blastoise in the back is very low as well. So if you can force it out onto the field, maybe a Protect here and a Dark-type move from your Incineroar, you try and get out into that Torkoal, Parting Shot goes off. That might signify that Trick Room is being clicked by Sinistcha. I wonder what the speed tiers are between those 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, that's really interesting point. And now Torkoal is going to come back out, is going to set the sun, but of course, because it's no longer at full health, it's no longer the big threat that it was in the game 1. Farigiraf, a very wise Protect, as the Sinistcha reverses the Trick Room, and once again, Justin has the speed advantage, and now, with the Farigiraf so low, even with the -1, and even if the Incineroar switches in, I don't see the Farigiraf surviving a Throat Chop at this range.
I agree. I think Behzad didn't really have a play to go for there, other than maybe you hope for a critical hit and you try and play from there. Just a tough spot. You know, Behzad fighting tooth and nail to actually get that Trick Room up, and it looked really cool. It looked really interesting, but unfortunately, Sinistcha and Incineroar, the defensive backbone of Justin's team, is a little bit too strong there. Maybe switching out your own Incineroar, you go for an Eruption, you get a cheeky critical hit or something here. Maybe we're back in business. It's going to be hard to knock out the Torkoal. I will say that. There's not a lot of damage that you can actually threaten it with, so let's see what Torkoal goes for here. Can it maybe knock out Blastoise?
Yeah, well now the Incineroar withdraws for the Blastoise. It's going to resist, but at that range, it's going to be quite a bit. But somebody dodges the Matcha Gotcha. It is the Incineroar. Oh, I think Justin may have wanted to hit that 1 HP Incineroar there, but Torkoal, of course, reduced down to 75% of its health, and at -1 special attack, you won't be able to do too much. So this is a -1 Ancient Power onto the Sinistcha, takes it very, very well, does not get any boosts to its stats. And now, Justin's still got the speed advantage, I'll say, but the Blastoise really isn't doing too much, but he could get a Dark Pulse off and finish off that 1 HP Incineroar.
Yeah, even Water Spout at this low of health in the sun, it's going to do at least 1 damage. It's got to do something, so it will finish off that Incineroar if you go for it, and it's going to do non-trivial damage to the Torkoal. It might do 10 or 15%, something similar to that. Looks like maybe we lost the game feed there. We'll get that back in just a moment for you guys, and we'll see how that game wrapped up there, right in the tense end game as well.
So the ending on a cliffhanger right there.
Yes, exactly. They knew that the end game was gonna, maybe there's a critical hit that happened that we just didn't want to show it because it would be too sensitive for our viewers.
Yeah, I was literally on the edge of my seat there, but let's just try and think as we try and get the game back on the ways it could have gone, right? Because the Blastoise would have probably gone for maybe Dark Pulse onto the Torkoal, or it could have Water Spout, as you mentioned. The spread damage might be more valuable, and then let the Matcha Gotcha kind of try and chip away at the Torkoal, because at -1 special attack, it's not really the biggest threat.
Yeah,
And
this
then
game would have been...
we got it back! What's
we've
happening?
got it back! It looks
Someone
like...
protected. Blastoise protected.
Yes,
And
Blastoise protected. Sinistcha switched out for Incineroar. So we're back in to where we were before. Looks like Justin is still in a pretty good spot. Justin might actually be trying to stall out the Sun. That might be something that he's playing for, and you're playing for Blastoise outside of... Oh, there's just Water Spout. And remember, this Farigiraf is very low, but it actually does hold on.
Spout. Yeah, it does. With the critical hit as well. This Blastoise has gotten 2 critical hit spells, but the Throat Chop read onto the Farigiraf, knocking it out instantly. And that means now Behzad's down to his final 2 Pokemon. Another Eruption coming off. It is going to... Ooh, it's actually chipping away quite a bit on Justin's side, but it looks like it's going to be a forfeit, and Justin is going to take game 2. I think maybe the Incineroar must have gotten knocked out and that we missed. I thought it was still in the back.
I agree. I think it must have gotten knocked out because I think had Incineroar been up, maybe you could switch it in and you could go for Fake Out Eruption or something like this. Fake Out Ancient Power, maybe you hope for the Omni Boost. I don't know. There's all sorts of, little ways that endgame could have played out. But regardless, Justin played that second game very well. He was able to position the Delphox in as Trick Room ended, got the Nasty Plot up, and then was able to utilize the Parting Shot, Intimidate, Hospitality sort of spin cycle that this team is known for to get off multiple strong heat waves with the Delphox. And while they weren't able to pick up knockouts, they were able to chip everything down low enough that it didn't really matter. Blastoise could come in, Incineroar could come in, and they could finish things off. The thing that Behzad is hoping for, if you can just find a way to knock out that Delphox, Behzad's going to win the game. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You're bringing 3 supportive Pokemon and Delphox, and if you can get rid of that Delphox, if you can just find a way to do it, you are looking quite strong there. You are looking quite strong. So very interested to see what these 2 world-class trainers adapt to in Game 3. Do you have your eye on anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Justin's adjustment in that game too, bringing the Blastoise just as a damage sponge for the Eruption. He recognized that the Torkoal was just doing too much damage.
Yeah.
And now for our game 3, Behzad is going to be leading the Incineroar Farigiraf up against the Justin's Incineroar and Delphox. So a slight switch up of, instead of a Sneasel, it's going to be the Farigiraf, but Justin leading with the exact same Pokemon.
Yeah, Justin realizing that this lead is very difficult for Behzad to strongly punish. You can go for Fake Out Trick Room here and prevent Nasty Plot from being set up. The downside is Sinistcha can come in, it can start healing things up, it can start, really being a thorn in Behzad's side. So I wonder if you just straight up go for an attack if you're Behzad. Do you just go for something like that Darkest Lariat into the Delphox slot right off the bat and try and get some damage down that's going to stick, hopefully. I don't know, it's going to be tough. Every Pokemon staying in Delphox Mega.
Yep, Delphox once again going for the Mega, turn 1 off the game, flying off the ground and getting off into a great start for Justin, and once again going for the Nasty Plot, but there's no Fake Out on Behzad's team, so a potential indication that maybe a Parting Shot or a Darkest Lariat coming off. But now first, Justin's Incineroar is going to get a Parting Shot off onto Behzad's side. So that Incineroar is going to be -2 attack, and the Blastoise coming in once again. But of course, Behzad's Incineroar is just going to Parting Shot out of there and pave the way for a teammate in the back, and indicating that this Farigiraf has gone for the Trick Room, and the Torkoal is now ready to rumble in the sun.
Yes, Torkoal coming in cleanly, able to take advantage of this freshly set Trick Room. The downside is, though, you've got 2 fire resists on Behzad's side, or on Justin's side, excuse me, so you can Helping Hand Eruption, you certainly can. It's not going to do as much damage as you might hope for. Justin is going to be able to live on with both Pokemon here. So here's that Helping Hand Eruption. It will do a lot of damage, but not enough to pick up any knockouts. That's still a lot of damage, though.
No critical hits. And now it does allow the very sad, some nerfed Water Spout coming off, but that's enough damage, I would say, on the Torkoal to another
A critical
8% damage.
hit.
That is a very, once again, a sad critical hit, but the some boosted heat wave on this Torkoal deals massive damage to both the Pokemon. And more critically now, this Torkoal is no longer able to spam Eruption. It's forced to now go for either the Weather Ball or the Ancient Power. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the Delphox has actually done its work this turn, just making sure that the Torkoal isn't getting to spam Eruption.
Yeah, we've gotten ourselves to a board state now where Behzad, I think, is going to have to make a read here. I think the obvious play is maybe protect Delphox and you switch into Sinistcha with the Blastoise slot. But can you predict that and go for like a Weather Ball into Blastoise, maybe a Psychic or a Helping Hand to follow that up? And if you can start chipping away at these pieces, maybe you've got something here. On the flip side, can you maybe read an Ancient Power into the Delphox and pick it up? Incineroar switching in, that makes perfect sense because you're able to eat any hit that the Delphox or the Blastoise is going to throw out. Here comes Sinistcha. It's going to heal up the Delphox. Is Delphox going to protect? That's what this turn comes down to, and where does Behzad target with the Torque?
Yep, so Delphox, yes, it does go for the Protect. Just a nice, safe turn for Justin there. He's right ahead, and the Weather Ball. Oh, wow,
he does
so
get it.
Nice read. Does it? I think the Sinistcha will be able to...
Yeah, it's gonna hang on, but he gets the read right, and that's it's piece by piece. You're slowly building yourself up because now you can go for Eruption or Weather Ball plus Darkest Lariat, and you've got yourself potentially a double knockout. Incineroar can switch in, but Delphox can't protect, so Sinistcha is going to switch out. But this should be maybe a double knockout for Behzad. No,
Delphox.
Delphox
It's a double
switch
actually for Justin. So I really like that play there, giving up the nasty plot boost, but also recognizing that Torkoal and Incineroar can't actually do that much damage. The fire boosted Weather Ball onto this Incineroar just isn't going to be enough, and the Blastoise probably is going to get knocked out by this. Oh, actually, Incineroar is just going to absorb
interesting.
both attacks. So a really nice turn there for Justin, and it's now one more turn of Trick Room and Sun left. So actually, I think Justin's in a pretty comfortable position.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you. There are some interesting plays that Behzad could go for, right? Behzad could try to get Torkoal out of here and maybe Parting Shot with your Incineroar as well to just reposition your board state as Trick Room ends. Alternatively, Blastoise could protect. You could switch Sinistcha back in, and all of a sudden you've got a healthy Blastoise that's able to Water Spout outside of Trick Room, and the sun's going to expire. So I do think that might be what Justin is going for. Parting Shot for Behzad here, but you could Parting Shot yourself back out into Sinistcha, and this is where that speed interaction is really nice, because if you are clicking Parting Shot as Justin, you're going to have full information as to what to go out into.
Yeah, now the Farigiraf is going to come right back in, and the Parting Shot is going to come off onto this Farigiraf and allow this Incineroar to switch out potentially into the Sinistcha and allow this Blastoise to dish out a lot more damage with those Water Spouts once the sun goes away and the health is restored. So Blastoise should be restored to, yes, over half of its health, and those Water Spouts should hurt quite a bit now, especially on that Torkoal.
Yeah, and you would assume Incineroar can't switch in for free either, right? Incineroar is about half health for Behzad's side, I believe, so it should eat some pretty decent damage there. And Sinistcha switching right back out, wants to keep that Hospitality on the board. Delphox coming in here. It's a pretty safe switch in. The thing is, though, Farigiraf could set up another Trick Room, and Venusaur's the final reveal. And we got to keep in mind, this is 3-attack offensive Venusaur. So it's going to be able to eat this Water Spout comfortably, and now it threatens with something like the Sludge Bomb or the Leaf Storm on the subsequent turn.
This is really, really cool adjustment, because now, if the Torkoal is brought in, the Venusaur is going to be the fastest Pokemon on Behzad's team. I really like this Game 3 adaptation there, and, you know, Venusaur, fantastic adaptation against the Blastoise, still doesn't have the best time against the Delphox, but oh wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, this is very cool. Important to note, Venusaur is running Earth Power, but obviously cannot hit the Delphox with that move. So its best bet into Delphox is going to be clicking that Sludge Bomb, and because of that, and because it's not going to deal enough damage, we do see a switch out here from Behzad, just trying to keep some momentum up. Heat Wave comes out, that's going to do a good amount of damage, but not enough to pick up the knockout into Farigiraf. Is Water Spout coming out?
Let's see now. Water Spout, super effective onto this Incineroar at half health, knocks out the Farigiraf and brings the Incineroar quite low to less than half of its health. So I think that was, Venusaur didn't quite manage to do that much in the game there. Really good adaptation, but I think the Delphox might just be a little bit much for it.
Yeah, it's really tough to see how you're actually going to get through this Delphox, because even if you are worried about Life Orb Sludge Bomb picking you up at 60% on the Delphox, you can always switch in your Sinistcha, get a little bit of healing, go up to almost full, and you're certainly going to live a Sludge Bomb from that percentage. And you got to keep in mind, this isn't Mega Venusaur, so it is going to just drop to a Heat Wave, and it's not really going to be able to actually do all too much.
That 1 HP so critical, allowing it to come back into the future. So here is a Life Orb boosted Sludge Bomb. Is not going to be enough to knock out the Delphox, and allows the Delphox to respond back with a Sun boosted Heat Wave, which is going to be easily enough to take a double knockout onto both the Torkoal and the Venusaur, and leaves Behzad down to his final Pokemon, which I believe is that Incineroar. That's also quite low on health, but Behzad recognizes it and is going to forfeit, and Justin Tang proceeds as the winner of our game, Swiss Round 3.
Set. I mean, that could have easily been top 8 of a regional, top 8 of an international, and we got to watch it live here in round 3 of the Victory Road to San Francisco. I mean, we are just absolutely blessed with these games. And guess what? There's 6 more rounds today, right? Yeah, that was only round 3.
So good.
That was so good.
And was watching, so good. I think there were a few turns there where you could tell these were top tier players, because there's an Incineroar out on the field, but it doesn't go for the fake out, even though there's no Farigiraf. And it just goes to show that the players are recognizing, I don't always have to click a fake out just because the option is available to me. There are better options to do. Sometimes switching out the Delphox, because so many times, I think it happened twice, where the Delphox, after the nasty plot, Justin would recall it because he recognized, actually, yes, I have spent a turn boosting up the Delphox, but in this situation, I can boost it up again in the future, or I can use it again, but if I leave it in, it's going to go down. So it's better off for me to have wasted those nasty plot boosts and swap out than to keep it in and let it go down.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, it just goes to show the level of gameplay that we're watching here. So many mind games, so many, if this turn had gone differently, or if this critical hit didn't happen, or if, this switch happened that I predicted here. These players are going to be thinking about that round for a while, but neither player is out of the running. As a reminder, there's 10 rounds today. You need to win 8 of them to advance. Justin has made himself, he's put himself at a great spot, 3-0, still a lot of work to do. Behzad absolutely not out of it, 2-1. That's a good start to the tournament. You're on pace to go deep in this tournament here. So both players still have a lot to play for.
Yeah, and now as we get ready for our next round, we are going to go to a very short break. So stay with us and we'll see you back for Swiss round 4.